All right. It is Sunday. It is the 21st of September already. How did that even happen? You are in my studio with me currently, and Nasho, who's pouting in the corner because he's like, why are you spending so much time and attention on the computer when you could be spending time and attention on me? He is very sweet and very sweet and very loving lately. He's been very sucky lately. I don't know what that's all about, but we're probably getting close to his birthday, so that's probably what that's about. We don't know his exact birthday because he's adopted, so we're guessing it's probably in around now. And we're gonna have to pick a date and then do a birthday. Chris is like, just pick your birthday, and then we can just keep all the birthdays in the same cluster. Because my husband's birthday is the day before mine, and then my birthday is obviously the day after his. And then we can just do Nash like maybe the day after that, keep them all in the same puddle. Then nobody's birthday gets forgotten except for poor Blue, who's not in the same window. We'll just make him an honorary Sagittarius. So, we blinked. Good morning, lovely people. Katie, hi, how's it going? Lizzie, good morning. Hello. It's a little bit earlier than usual today. I have some things going on this afternoon, so I wanted to pop in a little bit earlier, and sometimes that works better for people too. So hopefully it works for you. If not, you can catch it later. Yeah, so I have some peaks to show you guys in a minute. We have Breyer's clock that they put out for the Vintage Club, and yeah, we'll see where we end up. I have a little video to end things with too, so I gotta go actually download that. Hold on. It is over here, hiding in the corner. Dun, 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 dun. That is my brain holding music. It's the Indiana Jones theme song, because why not, right? Hopefully everybody's having an awesome week. Breyer did do their Vintage Club release. I will pop that up on the screen. It's called Pioneer. So Pioneer is the Clockhorse mold in a really cool Dunalino color. And then Becky Turner did the artwork, which is Fireheart and his family for the bottom of the clock, which is super cool. I think it's Becky Turner. 95% sure it was mentioned somewhere that she did the art. But it's super cool to have them immortalized on the bottom of the clock. So very exciting. And it does have a little Man-O-War stablemate, which comes with a little Man-O-War stablemate box, which is super cute. I actually really like the color on the Clockhorse, so I will have to find one day. But very cool. So that's the fourth release in the Vintage Club. I guess they get all their releases this year before everybody else. I think the Premier Club's only had, oh no, they've had Cosimo, so the first two. Okay, like we're getting close to the end of the year and my brain can't keep up, apparently. Raiders of the Lost Ark is the goat. Exactly. You got it. I don't. Yeah. Anyway, my brain is doing the things. So yeah, that's Pioneer. $160 straight from Breyer. Obviously, you needed to be in the club. I am not in the Vintage Club. Has all the thingies. This was just their thing that they posted. So. It says Western Pony is one of Breyer's oldest sculptures, beloved by vintage collectors. Its first release was more than 70 years ago, and it has been released in many colors over the years with different accessories available. The Western Pony has long been a popular choice for fans of Breyer ephemera. That's an interesting word choice. Now paired with a clock for the first time, Pioneer is a wonderful homage to Breyer's early history. His dappled Palomino coat could be dappled Palomino, I guess. It leans in my brain more Dunalino, but he probably doesn't have the stripe. So there's that. Is detail blah blah blah. Catch brain. His dappled Palomino coat and detailed saddle add a fun modern twist to a nostalgic piece. He's sure to delight collectors of vintage and modern Breyer models alike. The release comes with its own very unique vintage packaging and a certificate of authenticity. Comes with the stablemate bonus model, a miniature version. Goodness gracious, I'm going to have trouble talking today. Of one of the greatest racehorses of all time, Man-O-War. The models ship in the same package, so plan accordingly when ordering, because they know that people sell their models and then get mad when the free thing's in the box. So, yeah, that's cool. We should be getting... Actually, did I show those? else. We should be getting the releases for next year at some point in the near future. I imagine they'll start peaking the clubs soon. I can't remember when they opened them. I think it was September or October maybe last year. They usually give a little bit of time to do that. And then there was... And then there was mid-year releases. We're going to get mid-year and fall, apparently. So says someone that popped up. I can't remember who said it specifically, but there will be mid-year and end-year. So this was the model that Cash, the one that won one of the ones that won the essay contest for Make Your Horse into a Briar. And then there was that's a sweet chip. That's another mid-year release. Or was this a fall release? Hold on. Hold for processing. Because the brick and mortar is the Shagia Arabian. Hopefully you guys find my lack of ability. Brick and mortgage. Yes. Mortar. I have no idea how to spell mortar, apparently. There we go. I still made it work. My brain can't spell. But that's okay. We all have days like that. So this is the brick and mortar special for 2,500 pieces. Shagia Arab in a rose dapple gray. A little bit of dappling on the barrel, but mostly a solid rose gray, which is kind of cool. Rosanna. Very fitting. So that's only available at Briar stores that qualify for the brick and mortar thing. So it won't be available everywhere and won't be available on the Briar site, I don't think. So yeah. Katie says we're waiting on the mule painting my Rowan. Ooh, very exciting. Yeah, I guess we haven't seen the mule yet in person. And there's the gray version that'll come out and then the pinto. So we'll see who's the lucky ones that get the gray, because that's kind of cool. Good morning, Brenda. Good morning, Pam. How's it going? Let's see. I'll see if I can pull that up. Briar mule. It'll probably pop up right away. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, I don't know how I missed. My brain's like, why did we only get one pony for the club? But we did get Cosimo, so that's the thing. Well, I didn't, but you guys did. So there's the gray version of the mule and the pinto version of the mule, both reverse dapples. Oh no, one's not reverse dapples. One's normal dapples. The other one's reverse dapples. It's kind of cool. So I like how they're using that technique and layering the paint over top, because I think that sets things in really nicely. If it's just the dapples over top without layers to kind of knock them back down, it doesn't look quite as realistic. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they come out. I'm interested to see what people think in person and how the ears hold up to generic movement and things. But see how that goes. So yeah, that's been fun. I've been very, very busy in the studio. I've been very, very busy in the garden trying to pull the weeds up. It took me all day yesterday to try and do that, but I'll tell you a story in a minute. I do have things working out for the sale. That'll be, oh my goodness, next weekend already. Where did our time go? I don't even understand. I have been working my butt off, though. So we have most of the medallions ready for the club to ship out. There's going to be a whole bunch of extra paperwork, so there might be some shipping delays. I have to do a whole bunch of paperwork for each box. So pray for me, because this has been a whole thing. And now they booted us off of the ability to kind of pay as well. Now it's pay as you go for all the customs and stuff. Anything needs to be paid up front, including extra fees for processing boxes. With the medallions, there's not a lot, like there's no extra customs fees because they're covered under the CUSMA, which is the Canadian US, or from the US side, USMCA, Canadian Mexico US agreement. Depending on which country you're in, you put your country's letter first. So it's different for each of the countries, but the same idea underneath. So it's an agreement for free trade on certain items, including ornamental plastic products. So that qualifies for medallions and resins. But it's added a whole bunch of complexity. So hang tight. I'm trying to get things organized beforehand, and hopefully there won't be very much for delays. Crossing the border, there might be a few delays just because it takes a little bit longer for things to cross over, and they have to process everything through a customs broker, which they didn't have to do before. They did, but not the same way as they're doing now. So yeah, it's a whole thing. But anyway, crazy. I have peeky things for you. I wanted to show you, this is what I was working on in the last art hangout. So you'll remember the Nayla that I did. Maybe I can bring it up on the screen. Nayla was the Akal Ahaltika medallion that I painted as an artist proof. And it's done really well showing. You can kind of see there. I can't make it bigger, can I? That didn't make it much bigger, but that's okay. So you can see there how it has all the hair by hair techniques. I went in with pencil, back and forth with pigments to get the dapples and all the little hairs when you look really close, but they're not punch you in the face, which is nice. I kind of like that idea of things. Yeah, it did make it much bigger. So I have now the Aura medallion that I'm painting up for my friend Annie that has a similar idea. So slightly cooler tones with this one. This is just the initial layer of all the herring, and my light's gonna butcher it. But so all the little hairs are in there. You can kind of see on the neck there. I'll go in with pigments and layer back and forth to bring, kind of get it to the place where I want it, where it's not punch you in the face detail with the pencils, because I don't know that that's 100% realistic, but it's not also missing. The nice thing is I'm using the Luminance Caran d'Ache pencils. That's these guys. It's just their white color. I can hear the dog snoring in the corner. That's funny. And when you put them on, the white knocks back quite a bit. There's darker colored pencils in there that end up being a little bit more subtle, or a little less subtle than the other ones. So especially in the barrel, you can kind of see there's some stuff. So that'll take some back and forth. That's just the initial layer of pigments. Got a couple layers of pigments. So there's airbrush underneath, a couple layers of pigments. Then there's the pencils, and I'll kind of put pigments on top of the pencils, seal them down, put more pencils on top of the pigments, seal that down, and go back and forth and play with it a little bit, because I think that gives me the look that I want. And you saw with the Nayla how that kind of worked out. So I am excited for that. And I do enjoy my ponies on the stick. It makes me think of like the masks. You could almost do that. Be like, I'm wearing an Arabian on my face. So fun. I do have the newest Medallion Club medallion to show you a peek of today. I showed you an eyeball last time. And I do have one that's almost all painted up and ready to go to show you guys what it can look like when it's painted. Maybe I'll have two. Not sure. But I definitely have the one. I don't know if it'll be for sale. I got to check on a few things, but I'll at least have a painted version that you guys can see and enjoy. That's coming up really, really soon. The sticker was the cute little baby Donko, which everybody's excited for. I might have this guy ready to go for the sale as well. He still needs his red tones. I got distracted by painting up the other thing. So that's a thing. All right. What should I show you guys first? Let's show you the Chunk Master. So I showed you a picture of his face. And this isn't going to be the best way to do this. Come on, now. It's not going to like it because my face is there. So you can see his braids. They're double braided. He has his little raffia strands on both sides. His cute little ears. He's got the cutest little face. And his head's got a little tilt to it. Oh, it's just so cute. There's his other side. So you can see the... Oh, Anytime it's like, I see your face, so I'm not going to focus on the pony thing. So this guy will be available. He's venti sized, which is perfect bite-sized pony. And then he does have a fun little braided tail with the little raffia bow on the back. There we go. I'm so excited to see how this turns out in resin. It's going to look so cool. And his bum grease, because you need a good chonker bum. So, very excited. That took me a long time to do these braids, but I think it's worth it. What do you guys think? I think they'll be really cool to paint up. But very, very cute. I will do a full reveal of him very shortly here, and he will be available to order in the sale, along with the classic and the stablemate that I have coming. So I can show you a little peeky peek of that thing. Dun, 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 dun. I'll be posting more about this shortly, but there's a little peeky peek of some of the wild hair that is present on this little stablemate. And the stablemate and the classic are the same sculpture, just different sizes. And I do have to let you guys know what it is very soon here. And then show you the base. It's all about the base. With that really cool technique that I'm using for the terrain. There's little hoofy prints on the base too. You can kind of see them there. Boop and boop. So the chonker is venti sized. Then I have a stablemate and classic of the same sculpture that will be available of the one that I just showed you the wild hair on. I will probably post a clip of that and see if I can get you guys to guess what it is. And then we will post the full reveal early this week so you can prepare your beings for the awesomeness that is coming next weekend. Yeah, very cool. Available too will be the Aura Artist Proof in Flea Bit Dapple Gray. And I'll post final nice videos of those. Oops. And then the Moosey Artist Proof. And I'm not sure what else will get done, so I won't make any other promises. But that's kind of what's going to happen. There's going to be medallion and sticker kind of fun packs that'll be at a discounted price and give you kind of a random selection of some cool medallions. And then I'm going to probably announce the medallion contest that I'm going to do. So anybody who has medallions of mine or buy some in this sale if you want to, if you don't have any or you want a different selection than what you already have. And I'm going to do some fun prizes and a giveaway later this year. So give you guys obviously a couple months to paint things up, and then we'll have some fun with that because it's always fun to do contests. Da, 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 da. Lizzie says it's definitely worth it. Katie says, I want him. Gray Mule is a micro run of 75 pieces. Yeah, for their 75th anniversary. So it'll be kind of cool to see who gets them because they should be fairly rare and fairly valuable. So that's always nice for people to get a fun little bonus in their boxes. Lizzie says, of course I need them all. Sorry, wallet. Will Finn be a Model Horse Place auction? I think that's how I'm going to do it, as long as Model Horse Place behaves. There's been some challenges with that recently. So if there's, I'll probably put a thing up and say if there's any issues with anything to contact me directly, and I can put in private bids, I think. I don't know. Or try and figure out the issues. I hate when things are glitchy and there's no real control over it. So hopefully it's running really well. I know Model Horse Place works for most people, so let's see how it goes. Katie with her eyeballs. That always reminds me of the Little Monsters like noodle one, because Crumb had his eyes on his hands, but then there was like the noodle with the lips and the eyeballs. Yeah, I can't remember what her name was. Sally? I think their name was Sally. All right, Medallion Club, Medallion Peak. I'm going to be posting those peaks over the week. And then, yeah, posting the peaks over the week. I'm trying to figure out what part I show you. Because it's going to be hard not to give this one away. But it is a little bit more fantastical. You could take it realistic if you wanted to. I kept it kind of open either way. But this one, I think a lot of people are going to be excited for because I've had it asked for quite often in the past. So let me pull out a thing to hide the rest of the thing. Bum, 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 bum. That's your peak for today. I know. What? What is going on? I don't understand. So that's all I'll show you for now. I obviously can't show you the full painted piece, but I think you guys are going to really like it. I wanted to be able to show the potential of it because it's cool. All right. I did have people asking about the adhesive double-sided tape that I'm using for the medallions and for micros. It works really, really well. I just got it from Michael's. It is the Scott branded double-sided tape. You just pull it off, cut a section, stick it to your thing. These sanding sticks, because they have so much grit on them, work really, really well. And then you can use an oil to release them from the bottom, but they usually, if you're gentle about it, peel off pretty easily. But something like an olive oil should soften that glue and release them as well. So works really well. They're pretty secure on there. I'm not worried about that coming off at all. And it works for big, heavy things like these medallions where they're not light. Like that's got some weight to it. And it, like I can bend and twist that. And it's starting to think about wanting to come off, but it doesn't, which is nice. And it lets me handle things without leaving fingerprints or stuff on the actual horse, which is also really nice. And then when you're spraying these little guys, they don't go flying because they're attached to a stick very, very securely. It's a sea turtle. Teresa. Always with the sea turtles. One of these days, I'm going to sculpt a sea turtle and I'm going to blame it on Teresa because it'll be cute. All right. Looks like the handle on a vase. I don't know. Maybe I got really artistic and crazy. Maybe it's not even a horse. Nobody knows. Yeah, so that's all I can show you guys for today. I did want to tell you a little offshoot story about my gardening adventures. So it did take me, and then we'll say bye for the day, and I'll show you the little video that I will queue up now, actually. Where is it? Where is it? This one? There we are. Perfect. All right. So I planted basically nothing in the garden this year. I bought a couple tomato plants. They're in buckets, like the 5-gallon buckets. They did okay. And then I planted some flowers, the dahlias. This is the first time I've gotten dahlias to bloom from tubers. I'm gonna have to overwinter them inside. They are Thomas Edison, and they are very, very pretty. Edison dahlias. I will show you what they look like. So they're like a purple. Mine are really, really purple. So more like this. Very, very purple. Oh, I moved my camera. Very, very purple. And I ended up with 2 tubers of that type. So I'm going to try and save them over the winter because they will die outside in my climate. So they got to come inside and be stored in little boxes with sand, and it's a whole deal. So we'll see if I can do that and manage that. And then I had a couple of squash plants that I just bought locally that I popped in. We've gotten a couple of zucchinis off ours. And then my garlic, I've been growing 4 or 5 technically different varieties of garlic. One's the same type, but from different sources. So it's technically a different variety a little bit. They're not even the same when you look at them. And I figured I didn't want to lose my varieties because normally I'd plant them in the backyard where Nash is. And obviously, for reasons, especially because he loves digging, Garlic couldn't go in the backyard garden because he's dug in the raised beds, he's dug in the normal garden area. It was not set up for a dog before because we didn't realize we were going to get a dog. Happy accident. So I ended up saving those varieties. I didn't want to waste them because it wasn't super cheap to get the different varieties. I had to order them from a place in Alberta and have them shipped down. And that kind of sucks. Plus, they had already established themselves here a little bit. The more you grow garlic in one area, the more it establishes itself and becomes strong in that area and adapted to the conditions. So I ended up planting my cloves, looked it all up. It said that I would just get little tiny baby round one single clove bulbs, and that at least I could plant for next year. So I'd be able to pull them up or at least leave them in the ground if they were a single clove. They would grow over the winter, get a little bigger, split up, and then I'd be able to get full garlic next year. So I was checking them yesterday, not realizing them, and I pulled one up the other day and it had full little cloves, but it was very, very small, which is kind of what I was expecting. And I was thinking to myself that if I left them in the ground with all the little cloves, that they wouldn't grow properly because you need to split them out for them to grow a full bulb off of a clove. Whereas if they were a single clove in a bulb, that might split. Well, I even neglected them. I didn't really pay attention to watering them. I didn't really pay attention to fertilizing them much. They were just out there being wild with all the weeds. They didn't even get weeded very often. And much to my surprise, I started pulling the garlic up. And this is two different varieties. Most of them did really well. But like, it rivals anything I've planted that's grown for 6 months. And this is 3.5 months. They're obviously not cured yet. But those are pretty big garlic cloves. I'm pretty impressed. So if you want like face scale, it's like my whole glasses. I have garlic glasses. They smell very clovey. So this one is the Red Russian. This is one I've grown in the area for a couple years now, so it's fairly well adapted. It usually grows the biggest out of all of them. And then this one's Music garlic. And they all have slightly different flavor profiles. You can see that they still have their stems on them. So I'm going to braid them all up, let them cure, and then split them up and plant them in late October. So I didn't plant these until late May, almost June. For some of them, it was June, and it's crazy. The only ones that didn't grow were the ones that were right beside sunflower seed, like sunflowers. And sunflowers put out a hormone that suppresses the growth of certain plants in their area, including garlic, apparently. So those ones were really, really small. Kind of what I was expecting just to get from the 3.5 months of growth, but I'm pretty impressed. They are quite large garlics. So they have their cloves. They are happy little garlics, and I will have something to plant for next year. And I should. So you usually save the small cloves for processing or freezing, dehydrating, canning, however you're going to do it. I normally chop up a whole bunch and put it in olive oil in the fridge. And the really big cloves like that, you'll split up and plant those, because the bigger the clove, technically the bigger you should get your bulb. And a lot of the cloves that I had saved from last year to plant were big ones. So maybe that's the difference. It doesn't really matter how long they get to grow. Or I have no idea. They were just happy this year. We did get a more wet summer than usual, so they were watered naturally quite often. I will find out next year. What I'm going to do is I'm going to save some, plant them in late May, and then plant some this fall and see if there's a comparison between which ones end up giant and which ones end up not giant, or if they are the same. I don't know. It'll be cool. Or if their flavor profiles are different. Someone said that might be one of the factors. Maybe the garlic that only had 3.5 months to grow will be milder than the garlic that had 6 and whatever months to grow. So we will see how it goes. And then these are hardneck varieties, which means they grow a little scape and you can cut the scape off and eat it or make pesto out of it. So good. Anyway, love it. All right. Teresa says, and I'll be right. Exactly. Be like, sea turtle, I knew it. All right. Yeah, impressive. Thank you, Carol. It's totally unexpected. So I planted them just in amongst my flowers. They're good for pest control. So I figured why not? But they're all out in my front gardens, and my neighbors thought I was crazy because all you see sticking out of all the flowers are the big tall garlics, and then their scapes as their scapes start to make little circles and squiggles. So very cool. All right. Well, sales next weekend, guys. I'm very excited. Hopefully, you're very excited. A couple of the smaller pieces. So, the Chonky Boy is going off to the Alps for casting, as well as the stablemate version of the yet unreleased sculpture. The classic we're doing here, and then so anything bigger, obviously, then they can do with the Alps will be going or cast here, and then the other stuff's going to them, because it'll help me avoid the tariff stuff, and it takes a little bit of the pressure off on me. It's been a lot of casting and stuff lately, so not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I enjoy it, and I definitely like producing ponies for you guys, but sometimes it can be, especially the cleaning up can be really extra hard on the wrists, so I try and it's nice to have a break here and there, and then I can make new ponies. Wasn't there a 3D print something? Yes, there was. Laura Rocksmith, hello. How's it going? Or was that... So it's a master for casting, was the 3D printed thing. But I will be revealing that thing very soon, because I think I need to give you guys some notice on the stuff. And I thought it was a week earlier than it is. I just got too involved in doing all the things, apparently. So yeah, that's the thing. And then I will be posting the peaks for the Medallion Club medallion over this week. I did show you guys 2 sections of it, so those will probably be the first 2 peaks that I post. And then I'll probably do the reveal a little bit early this month and get you guys all excited and prepared. There might not be candy treats in your Medallion Club boxes because of the tariff stuff. They're opening boxes, and that all the candy has a tariff value on it of like 6%, which isn't a lot, but it also requires a whole bunch of extra paperwork for FDA clearance. So I will see what I can do to get around that, or work around it, or work with it, or I don't know. But this box might not come with the candy. I'm sorry. I will send you guys an email and let you know the details about that. But I might play it safe for this one and try and figure out that FDA paperwork, because they want to know what exactly I'm sending, where it came from, what all the ingredients are. It's tariff. I don't even know how I'm going to value it, because it's not a sale item. This is all new waters. So thank you for staying patient with me as I try and work through all this stuff, but at least I can still ship to the States. So there's that. Alrighty, guys, I love you very much. I'm going to show you a quick video before we take off, and then I will let you carry about your Sunday. Because I showed you the troll last time, if you missed that, I will show you this time. Trollio. Here's the sticker for this month, because that just popped up in my thing. Oh, I didn't even show it on there. Hold on, it's on my iPad. Bum, 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 bum. Didn't get it up in time. Nope. This one. It's my... What the heck? It's my Don't Feed the Trolls troll. That's what I picture in my head. Because they're just scraggly. I told you guys the story last time before we ended the stream of the grumble puffs. So technically, Bumblebutt is a grumble puff, but he's a different variety of grumble puffs. So almost like gremlins, where there's like the really cute ones and then the really not so cute ones. They can have 2 trajectories. They can be grumpy, and then they can turn into beautiful things like Bombas, or they can be grumpy and then they end up looking like trolls. So the choice is yours. Do you want to be really, really cute and glorious hair, or scraggly and swamp monster like? So, let's see. I will show you that video. So because I have Procreate Dreams, I want to do this, but I haven't finished it yet. But, you know, don't feed the trolls. So he's coming out and doing his little like, because that's what they do. Trolls are just trolly. So I've done the line art for it, and then I will go in and do the inking, and then how did you get this picture of me before coffee? I know, right? And then coffee's the magical elixir that transforms you into super cute. But he snarfs, and then he's like, nah, and then he goes away. So don't feed the trolls. So kind of fun. And then I'm going to color it and everything. We'll see. I'm playing with it. I've always wanted to try the animation stuff. I've done a little bit here and there, but we'll see if I can get a fully colored crazy animation. I did some Flash stuff back in the day, but gosh, that's been so long. Alrighty, I will let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I love you all. Don't feed the trolls. They are sometimes observing the stream, so we need to make sure that they are not getting extra trolley food, because maybe they'll eat the other food and then they will turn into pretty bombuses and be nice eventually. Nobody knows. So fun. All right. I was going to say another thing. Oh yeah, I always forget to ask you guys, if you can like the videos for the streams, then that helps other people see them, helps other people find me as an artist. Like anything, go around liking people's posts and commenting. And especially, I guess, on if you save things and bookmark them, then saving posts or bookmarking them on Instagram also is the preferred algorithm, I guess. So that helps artists get noticed. A lot of times, even when you're following an artist, the algorithms don't actually show you what they're doing. So you have to either choose that you want to follow them and have their stuff pop up as priority on your feeds, or if you're engaging with them, then their stuff pops up. If you're watching this on YouTube, then you can hit the like. And if you want to see more of it, you can subscribe, and it'll let you know that I am live on Sundays pretty much every Sunday for the last, I think it's been 3 years now. That's crazy. Maybe longer. But anyway, I did this to help get over my being weird about, well, I'm still really weird, but being weird about interacting with other hobby people and not being awkward about it. I guess we're all awkward. I don't know. I have shyness that this is helping me get over a little bit. I have that ambivert where I can be introverted and extroverted, but I definitely prefer the introvert. It's like the dominant characteristic. So this has been challenging for me, but I'm getting better at it after 3 or 4 years or whatever it's been now. So yeah. All right. Love you guys. Make sure you support other artists and newbies and beginners and people that are out there, because they need it too, definitely. So I love you guys. I will see you next time.